Hello guys, and welcome back to Strategic Command World War II World at War with our Axis playthrough. In the last episode, I performed an early Pearl Harbor. We've wiped out every ship in Pearl, which I don't think the AI did against me in my allies playthrough. And we're preparing an invasion where we wipe out the special forces through any means necessary, and this fighter as well. Take Honolulu, claim Hawaii, including Hilo over there, for our own, and use this as our own naval base in the Pacific. And that will be difficult to hold on to. Splitting my naval forces will be quite an interesting task, but America is my main naval adversary out in this region. So long as I can stop them from operating with ease out here, theoretically, things are in good hands. Meanwhile, in Europe, there's a lot to do. I was going to look at the naval stuff first, but that's going to give me a massive headache because we're going to have to very piecemeal try to find two carriers that were sent out at me. Let's just look at Russia first. Unfortunately, the entirety of the Soviet Union right now where I'm fighting is covered in rain, so that's really going to slow us down right now. But we're going to take the 30th Corps here and we're going to move that forward to Bryansk because we know that it's clear. We can't reinforce right now anyway. Just upgrade with mobility, so I might as well just push forward and take something. It is a town and it has some MPP value, so I'm going to do that. We're also going to continue to move forward with the HQs. Rommel will lead the way, pushing up towards Smolensk. He is rating 9. Yeah, he's actually upgraded. These guys are not exactly. We have better ones. We have 2 better ones than von Rundstedt here, meaning he'd probably stay in no matter what. Von Bach, isn't that a musician? I don't know, but von Bach would have to be replaced, and then either von Lieb or actually von Lieb and von Kukler could be replaced, yeah. But Rommel doesn't need to go anywhere, and neither does von Rundstedt, really. The 5th Panzer tanks are actually going to push forward, not just stay where they are, down the road, take Vyazma, which doesn't appear to have any MPP value, but it does produce supply. Gets me closer to Moscow, allows me to see that Rezev is completely unoccupied. Very good. So we're right outside Moscow. It is the end of October. Next turn will bring us into November. After that is December. We will be at Moscow come the time it starts snowing, but we won't have taken it. Of course, I mean, I never really thought I would be able to do it. I'm not moving nearly as quickly as I would need to. But we are there. We are here. We're right outside. And the AI of, well, the units of the Soviet Union, as I've seen, they need to be very forward to place, which they are. I mean, look at this. Very forwardly placed. But Moscow shouldn't be very well defended. Problem still is getting to Moscow with all this rain in the way. We won't be able to get here with any sizable force until the snow starts. And then we're going to be taking attrition and supply damage like every turn. How does moving Rommel here help supply? Helps it quite a lot. Not enough for this unit in Vyazma to be able to reinforce next turn, but that's fine. It's just going forward, kind of scouting in a way. Which makes me wonder, you know, I still haven't sent this reconnaissance up forward. I chose to get some naval anti-submarine units in production rather than operating this. That was a choice. It was a conscious decision. What's your spotting range? You got a spotting range land of 3. Yeah, you do. I should get this guy up to the front, especially around Moscow. It's where he's going to be most needed. So I think I will do that. I'm going to send him over just as far as he can get northeast of Minsk. Finally get him up there. Africa reconnaissance. Also, von Rundstedt, he doesn't need to be replaced or anything. He's going to move forward to Orsha, just behind, covering. I imagine the furthest he will go is to Smolensk, and then like Rommel will move up with the main force that's actually assaulting Moscow. I really don't know what they're going to have here, if they've put a lot of defenses here or not. I won't know really until next turn because again, can't really get there. I could, no I can't. We don't have supply here to do elite reinforcements or anything, so this tank has to move. I don't know if I want to approach from this side with the tank or this side. This side is wide open. It's wide open. I know it is. This side will at least have some garrisons in the way. And this side will just take longer to get down due to the forest that's right here is getting in the way. We have to go through Bryansk or through this field. And especially in the rain, that is not exactly very easy. I think I'll have it advance a little off on its own. We're going to advance through the field. And we can spot, thanks to that Kaluga is unoccupied as well. We'll be in supply as well, which is good. So we'll be able to claim Kaluga pretty easily next turn with whomever is at the front. And be pretty much poised outside of Moscow. I wonder how much of this is undefended. Because I do wonder if a tank straying off the line, you know, with its mobility, literally mobility, this one is upgraded with mobility, which must have just been automatic or something, because I didn't fucking do that, could potentially cut off Moscow from all rail lines, which literally means cut it off from every direction, because everything else connects, which is unfortunate. But if we could do that, one like clean sweep somehow to cut it off from every direction, snow or not, we could isolate whoever is there from reinforcements. I don't know how strongly the AI will react to us. Like, are they going to start operating all this stuff out of here? That's a lot of money if they do that. If they do, that's actually good and bad. And if they don't, well, I think that's only good, really, because that makes Moscow easier to take if there's only a token force of like a core and then some AA here. I don't think this push around Gomel's going to be going anywhere fast anytime soon. So I'm going to take this core, I'm going to move it onto the nearby road and rail. It's completely cut off from anything other than itself now. I'm going to put the 4th Army up against it. Yeah, I figured they would have better odds. Blitz or not, the prepared attack can't keep up with it, considering it's, well, you know, across a river. The snow's gonna slow down attacks so much. And it's gonna hurt. We have to reinforce the Africa tactical bombers. They're all fucked up. And we did get new ground attack weapons, so I'm gonna actually just go ahead and get that right now. 30 MPPs for these tactical bombers. Damn, they look crazy different. We just went from small planes to big planes, and I like it. I think for this force, Bryansk will be as far as they go in this direction. These guys, 2 armies core, will come over here as well. So that leaves both of these to move down the road. This one does need some reinforcement, but I'm still going to move it down the road anyway, because we'll have 6 supply here next turn. We can reinforce there next turn. That's no problem. So we're just going to move forward. Dang, mobility? You would need mobility on your units to get through this front in good time, let me tell you. The paratroopers can do a jump. I'm not sure I want to do that in the rain, though. You know, I'm really not sure about doing that in the rain, especially when I could just send a core over there in like a similar time. At this point, the jump is literally just going to be for traversal purposes, because we can only go 7. So this is 4, like at best, with no rain. 5, 6, 7, maybe we can get there next turn. What's the point of going there? Just to cut it off, right? Like, yeah, sure, that would cut it off, I guess. And then we could try to jump the paratrooper like across the swamp to try to cut this rail line at very specific points, hyper specific points, to try to cut it off entirely. Actually, these units right here, if this gets cut and this gets cut, then they would be completely cut off from the east. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That relies on having good weather for 2 turns in a row. No idea if that will happen, but then the tank doesn't need to do a whole lot of work, at least not to split off these units from the rest of the herd. The rest, well, that's separate. Like Gorky, well, not Gorky, but more like Vladimir and Ryazan connect to the other 2 points. But this one paratrooper could accomplish that much if weather agrees for the next 2 turns. Who knows if it will agree the next 2 turns, though. For now, I'm just going to move this core down this road. We got to get a core moving down this way as well. Certainly towards Rezev, we'll be able to step on that next turn. And how's supply going to be here next turn, by the way? Terrible. Yeah, that's fine. And then if the paratrooper can't do it, then the core should be able to do it. I'm not sure. I was like tempted to like move this guy up here in the meantime. Probably not. But he'll be able to do it if the paratrooper can't. If he can, then he'll kind of go a different direction. Maybe try to flank around behind. He's at full strength after all. I want to cover our advance with air power for sure. The Africa fighters, they'll linger over here with the Africa recon in the back, but they're going to move forward. We have some coverage for escorting even over Moscow from here. But the Luftwaffe 4 fighters are going to move up towards Smolensk, just behind Rommel. And support from over here, getting a little bit better coverage in this region. And we can still cover all the way over here, incredibly. Even with only 1 range upgrade, that's nice. Looking down in the Caucasus, we have mostly recovery actions to perform. Supply will be improving down the road, so this one can get moving the Belgrade Corps in that direction generally. It's raining here too, of course it is. It's going to slow me down so much. We still don't have a lot of necessary upgrades. Grozny is getting its supply back. I don't really know how supply is going to hold off going west towards Krasnodar. I don't think they really prepared for an approach from this side, but who knows? I'm half tempted to just cut all the way through up north with this group and not even go west, but this oil can be like 15 or more MPP a turn, maybe like 18. How's supply in that oil field look? It's only 5 right now, but it has 6. So maybe 18 MPP a turn regardless. It's kind of a big deal. So I want to get moving one way or another. Where's the army? The army still hasn't had a chance to reinforce itself. But it can get an upgrade right now. I'm going to get it its upgrade. We're going to move this one down the road, just kind of getting going. This is with mobility, by the way. I'll send the Dravska Corps down the road as well. And we can see there's nobody actually sitting on the oil spot itself. Rather than move just one spot, I'm going to reinforce, upgrade the 6th Corps with its infantry weapon upgrades. We'll upgrade the Bitaliska Corps, same thing, can't really get anywhere right now. And so, keeping an eye on this stuff. I will move the Bosanska Corps, which has like 1 supply right now. It'll have more soon. I'm going to have it go secure Astrakhan and kind of separate itself a little bit. Astrakhan will start producing supply. It'll catch up in like 3 turns. By that point, the winter will be here. But given that this is desert, I'm guessing this will be untouched. It doesn't need its upgrade right now. It's just going to take this, hold it. It's a port with 5 supply, by the way, which I don't know if that will affect here. Maybe not. But it will secure one of the directions leading into Stalingrad and a rail line that is kind of relevant for that. All the other forces are going to go this way. This one over here for now should be fine. I don't expect the AI to really respond too heavily to this. Maybe I'll send more down here. I'm not really sure. I think securing my cop, I don't know, and Rostov are more important, and that can be accomplished better with the support of the Yugoslavians. The first Romanian tanks are fully upgraded, ready to go, so let's just send them as far as they can get along the road here, and that would be staring down at this enemy corps. We're not going to do any bombing this turn. I'm going to reinforce these fighters. All the rest are going to get long-range upgrades. They don't have those yet, yeah, and ground attack 2. Same thing, they never got long range, and now they need ground attack 2, so I'm just going to take that. It's 45 MPPs per aircraft. Get those upgrades done. These ones are reinforced. They need a fighter upgrade. These fighters of mine should probably move up. What's supply look like? I'll figure that out after we actually get everything else moving. Given that the road going north is generally clear right now, I'm actually going to march the 10th Army up down the road. Get it closer towards Moscow, because all these Germans here, including the Slovakian, are going to kind of rejoin with these forces. They're not going to swing out all that wide. I think the mixture of Hungarians, Romanians, and Yugoslavians will be able to cover all of this stuff. So the Germans themselves are just going to focus on pushing towards Moscow. That is the most important objective. The ones coming from down south may just handle going through Oral and opening a more southern front, perhaps. It's like 1 army, 2 if you count this one, but that's kind of far away. And in the rain, oh man, in the rain, without mobility. With mobility, it could get 2 spots. It can only get 1 without mobility. We're going to take the Von Lieb HQ, which could also use mobility. I might just give it mobility for right now. Give that an upgrade. So I think the other one has the same upgrade already. Yeah. Give it its upgrades. So no matter if it rains or doesn't rain, it should be able to get to Konotop next turn. Supply otherwise is fading on the front, but you know, we're doing what we can. Yeah, let's go ahead and give it its upgrades. That's expensive, 113 MPPs, but mobility you only have to pay for once, and anti-air is useful. I will take this 2nd Hungarian garrison. We're going to operate that to right here. It's going to take care of this partisan point, which is maybe not going to be abandoned right now, because I might just want to reinforce this corps instead of rushing it anywhere. Yeah, I think I will. I'm going to reinforce this corps for right now, because the front here isn't really going anywhere until supply catches up. Supply's not catching up till we move an HQ forward, and natural supply increases. Kursk is going to go up. Konotop's probably not going to go up anymore. It just needs to get an HQ pushed forward, or a better HQ behind it, or something like that. We'll upgrade this corps with infantry weapons. Really unsure what to do with the tanks, and really unsure on how to approach Kharkov. Somehow the first Romanian army still has pretty good odds against this corps on Kherson, so let's go ahead and attack with it. 3 damage dealt, none taken, just as it promised me. Getting anyone else here is going to be kind of difficult, but we can go ahead and advance this one across the river where there will be supply. The only other thing that can get up there right now is this Romanian corps, so that's gonna have to do, because I mean this one's not gonna do that. I will reinforce this one fully back up to max strength. This HQ is settling in well over here, I think. Yeah, supply is pretty decent in this region. Now, damage. Further damage. Don't know how possible this is going to be with blitz attacks across a river. But maybe this corps can weaken down the final entrenchment of the enemy corps. Let's try it. Well, we did no damage, but we did weaken that entrenchment. The tank can attack with 3 kills, 1 losses, roughly. We will lose stuff, which means we will have to recover at some point. But this is damage we can get done even in a non-advantageous strategic position that would allow us to push on Sevastopol sooner rather than later, as well as Rostov in this direction. Of course, taking not 1, but 2 more Ukrainian mines, another 18 MPPs each for Germany would be great. The more MPPs we get, the better. All the time, in general, but especially with America in the war. I will give it a shot. 2 damage dealt, 2 taken. That went so terribly. 3 damage dealt, none taken. That one went according to plan pretty much. They'd have to spend a lot to reinforce this back up to full, and I mean, they very well might. They very well might. Who knows, but they very well might. I'm blocked by my own HQ unless I force march. I don't necessarily want to force march armies to a front. Maybe up against a river? Yeah, maybe that's fine for an army. This army's not getting anywhere else anytime soon, anytime quick. So sure, force march up to a river. Your morale's shot, your readiness isn't too bad off, but still, wish that could have been better. The range just getting in the way, and without mobility upgrades, it's really hard, but I'm trying to spend MPPs in so many places at once, I just cannot justify these costs. I'll move the 2nd Hungarian army up along the river here, project its zone of control out here for the time being. I'm struggling on figuring out exactly where I want to put a lot of these units. We're opening up more and more need for garrisons, which is going to be incredibly annoying to deal with. Because I just started purchasing a bunch. I purchased, I think, like 1 extra, but we're going to need even more than that. Because how many things are popping up? Like 2 more right now, maybe 3, yeah, 2 more right now, maybe 3 later. I think I had like 1 in excess. Even that's not enough. I mean, look at this right next to Smolensk. This is another one waiting to happen, but this is something I accounted for. My miners don't have enough room. They don't have enough garrisons, so they all have to come from Germany right now. I can afford that. I can afford that. If it keeps my other units moving, I can afford that. Let's get the Gotenhafen garrison. Let's purchase that. Stettin garrison. Let's purchase that. 261 remaining. I'd love to do some more research, namely continuing my ground attack weapons research to the max. So I will do that. We're going to research that right there, right now. There's nothing else to really upgrade or reinforce that's important. We have to look at the Turkish front. There'll be some upgrades to do here, certainly. But I don't think it's exceeding 86 MPPs in value. Supply on Basel right now is 2. It's going to be 3 next turn. What if I move this HQ down to Baghdad? Now it's going to be 4, because supply stretching from Baghdad is going to be so good. That's not going to improve, though. Like, it's not going to stretch down there any better. Basra's just going to have to start making its own supply at this rate. Right now, you have supplies, so I can upgrade you with infantry weapons level 1. Let's do that. There's a corps. You're at 4. You're at 4 of the 2 armies, and I knew that it would be like that. I was aware of that. Let's see, supply 5. Supply's going to be 4 here. I'm sure they have tons of supply here. Of course they would, right? What I think I'll do here is I'm going to take this corps. I'm going to claim Abadan with it instead of leaving it where it is. I'm going to take that oil for us, get it out of the UK's hand as soon as possible. Move the 1st army down here. It's going to take it another turn or 2 or 3 before it can upgrade. That's fine. Leave the 2nd army here. It'll be able to upgrade next turn. And it's still kind of in range of this crap. Well, this won't actually be able to upgrade until it can get off this hex, but it's strong and it can defend this location better than a corps. This corps has done what it needed to do. I think I'm going to start moving it back up this way to kind of get it on an offensive. So let's just move it back down like this. They're not going to be able to really land here and claim this. There's really no way for them to do that. So I'm not worried about that. I'll move the fighters down a little bit. How's supply over here right now? It's going to be 4 over here next turn. 6. It's improving over here, but unless I move the HQ west, it's not gonna really be the greatest. What I'm tempted to eventually do here is just take this HQ, move it here once I can, to provide better supply to the 2 armies taking on Kuwait, and have them steamroll through that, kick the Brits, or the Indians in this case, fully out of here, and then just shuffle everything over to the west to plow through towards Egypt. And I think that would put me at a pretty good pacing for what I have planned and what my goals are. Due to supply limitations over here, it's going to be hard, and movement, of course, it's going to be hard to get the Germans up north from right here too soon. So I'm going to move these 2 German corps forward along here up against the Guards heavy tank, and oh my fucking wow. This is going to be a bitch to get through, even with tanks. Man. And it's like entrenched in there too. That's crazy. I'm going to upgrade the Slovakian corps here. These 2 tanks can't both reach that target. I don't know if I should be sending the tanks north and then trying to get maybe a quick kill. I imagine killing a garrison would be pretty simple no matter what your supply is. Or keeping them behind to assist with Kharkov. It's in a town, which means armies should have decent times against it. And we do have a lot of armies coming this way. I can even leave this 14th army sort of down here, for example, because it can't really get very far anyway, and kind of moving up to take advantage of this. See if I can lure it out of its entrenchments to attacking these corps. Their infantry weapons are high, so their defenses may be a lot better than 3-to-1 odds against us. I'll take this fighter here. I'm going to move it into this field just a little bit ahead, move it a little bit further, where it can claim some more coverage over just everything generally in the region. And that's everything I'm really going to move over here for right now. We're not going to move this. I can get elite reinforcements on this. I have excess points, and I think I've paid for everything else, yeah. So elite reinforcements here while we wait. Doesn't sound too bad. There's 24 MPPs, exactly half, interestingly. Don't think we can afford any other upgrades for HQs. No. Still really not sure how I want to handle Gomel. We'll definitely lose our elite reinforcement top on this, but we could make some progress. It's kind of like the same thing as down here, WDF army. I feel like the losses to attrition that would be gained by just standing around here doing nothing outweighs the losses that could be handled or acquired in a negative way here by attacking Gomel. So let's just go for Gomel with this blitz attack with this elite reinforced army. Okay, that went way worse than it said it would. We killed 2, lost 2, unfortunately, but we're just gonna keep going. 2 kills, 2, yeah, this is just going way worse than projected. Core 1-to-1 odds against an army is not nearly as crazy. Got 2 kills, lost 2, yeah, okay. So, except for getting 2 kills with the core, that just went completely worse than it was supposed to go, but they're down to 4 now. The supply is so bad off, they can't reinforce to 10 anymore anyway. Their entrenchment is broken, and they're completely surrounded. So, I think next turn, these guys will be dead, for sure. The Afrika Korps tanks have a better situation right now, so we're going to move them down the road instead with all their mobility, and attack this garrison, which is upgraded, by the way, with infantry weapons, as well as anti-air capabilities. I'm going to leave the 3rd Panzer tanks where they are for right now because they'll be able to react to here if they're needed. They'll be able to still move forward and claim Oral next turn if needed. You know, the Afrika Korps didn't really lose anything. Its supply is going to be terrible, but supply here is going to be pretty stationary for now. So it will allow me to strike back with a better supplied tank if necessary in either direction. It's really supplies, the main thing. We're advancing faster than supply goes. There's always bad weather, there's always upgrades, always things coming up that are kind of slowing me down over here. But so far, I think we've claimed roughly or almost what Germany had at their peak in 1942 in their Soviet Union campaign. We're almost there, I think. And that's pretty good. We're definitely made more headway, I think, around Moscow. We're getting close to just being at Moscow, which is pretty nice. All right, looking at the Atlantic. I don't want to mess this up. So I vaguely checked the recording for the previous episode to see it's somewhere around here, one of the carriers that we spotted. But there was also something like right here that pushed us down. So this is a danger zone. So let's see here. So we want to not go here. So we're going to go a little bit underneath. Let's say to right here. Okay, go this far. And we got to keep going in this direction, I think. The carrier should be somewhere around here. But I don't remember exactly which hex. I can't tell. I'm going to try to approach it with the sub that doesn't have upgrades, because then that one won't waste its attack if it finds it. Oh, there it is. Hey! Okay, cool. I was like, I hope I don't have the angle wrong. So that is now good. We just need to move towards it, and then we have 4 subs that are upgraded with advanced subs 1 that can do something against it, and it doesn't have any ASW capabilities. Let's get the U-47 sent to hunt. We don't want to be any bit slow there. Come around this side. Glorious carrier. It is gloriously going to die indeed. 2 damage dealt. I was hoping we'd deal 3, but I'll take what I can get. Let's come around this side. The promised 4 damage delivered. 1 surprise damage taken. Let's try putting these guys on hunt next. Take the U-73 and bring it up here. Oh my, that doesn't look as good for some reason. Take the U-37, send it up here as well. Why are they both going to lose 2? Oh, because they are not experienced like the other ones were. Well, good luck. It's totally worth it if we can kill a carrier. Oh, and you did it in 1 shot. 840 national morale. Only 1 damage received. Let's move you up there. Let's move you there. I believe you can still raid if you've attacked, so long as you haven't forced yourself anywhere. U-37 can go right here. The U-73. What's supply here? 6, 6, 10, 9, 8. Okay. We should be able to get all these guys somewhere where they can do some raiding, especially along the line of the Americans here. Also leave some kind of on Canada's line as well, but well, kind of in between the two, because this is where a lot of MPPs are going to definitely start flowing. And even if they swarm this area with destroyers, we should hopefully have enough here. They have to swarm with literally all their destroyers to get us to not raid here this turn. The last German sub that's over here is this one, the U-32, and I'm going to go ahead and move that around here so we can raid this line, raid something. There were destroyers over here I don't want to run into immediately. And if they come for him instead of these guys, well, I guess that's even better. Because he's all reinforced and everything I can do with him for right now is pretty much set and good. And so with the exception of taking care of maybe this remaining 24 MPPs, not very much I could do with that. And seeking out this carrier of which only this sub is in range of. So I don't really know what I'm going to do about that. Oh yeah, and I didn't save enough MPPs to reinforce this fighter. Yeah, that would be a problem. That would be a problem, all right. Well, I'll just why 12 to reinforce, but I can only reinforce it to 7. I have 24. That doesn't make sense. I'll reinforce it as far as it can get. That's it. That's all I can really accomplish this episode. So we'll finish up this turn next episode. For now, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode.